So, good morning, and we are discussing about different biomedical signals in the previous lecture. So, we discuss about in brief about ECG, that is electrocardiogram, then EEG electroencephalogram, ENG electroneurogram, electromyogram, and the remaining things, that is ERG, EOG. ERG stands for electroretinography, and EOG it is electrooculography. So both these are related to our eyes. Then MEG, myoelectrograph. Myo stands for muscles. Then MCG, myocardiograph. Not myo, this is magneto. Sorry. So this last two, these are magneto encephalograph and magnetocardiograph. So this is about measurement of the magnetic fields. So we'll discuss these remaining signals what we could not discuss last time. Okay, so this ECG, EEG, it was discussed. ENG we discussed. I think this was the last point we were discussing. Electroneurogram. So we give some stimulus. It is actually measurement of the conduction velocity. That is what we have discussed last time. So we give some stimulus, maybe at the finger, what you see here, and the electrodes are connected at the wrist and near the elbow. So we measure the time required for this pulse to, after giving the stimulus, we measure the time required for the pulse to travel from wrist to elbow. That means from point S1 to point S2. So that we measure as L1 and L2. So the distance divided by this time, that gives us the velocity, conduction velocity of this signal, how it propagates in our nerves. Okay, so that was the last point. Now today we'll discuss about this electromyograph. Now I think this also we have discussed last time. About this was discussed last time, electromyograph signal. Okay, so this is the electromyograph signal, the electric signal related to our muscles. Okay, so now this point onwards we are going to start. So this is anatomy of our eyes. Okay, so you must be knowing some basics about this. This is the retina, what you see in the pink color, where the image is formed. There is a lens here. This letter K, it appears on the retina. Okay, now there are two important parts as far as sensing of images is concerned. There is one part here called as foveae and macula lutea. So these are just like a sensors. These are responsible for sensing the image, and there are some cellular structures called as rods and cones. So the cones are responsible for sensing color information, and rods are responsible for sensing luminous information, and rods are more in number. Okay, so that is in brief about the eye. Now let us come to electroretinogram. Now last time I told you, when we say ERG or ECG or anything like that, so the last G, it stands for either gram or graph. When we say gram, that means it is the actual signal, and graph, it is the plot. Graph is the plot of that. Okay, so when retina is stimulated, In this case, with a brief flash of light, it produces a sequence of changes in potential, which can be recorded between exploring electrode and a different electrode placed elsewhere on the body. Okay, so the exploring electrode, this is placed on inner surface of the retina or on the cornea. So there are two electrodes. One is called as the exploring electrode, and the other one, it is some different electrode. So the potential is measured between these two after giving a stimulation with a flash of light. So that is this ERG. Now these potential changes are known as electroretinogram, that is ERG, and they are clinically recorded with the aid of silver and silver chloride electrodes. So the electrodes used here are silver chloride silver or silver chloride electrode. Now, for selecting this silver or silver chloride, it is related to the half cell potentials of this material that we'll see. Now, this is a particular some typical graph of this electroretinogram. What you see here. So, at this point, we are giving some stimulus. So, some flash of light is given at this point. So light is on. So in at the output of the electrodes, suddenly you will get some spike here in terms of, that is the potential, and after that, this is how the waveform it is obtained for a period of 2 seconds. So this is what is electroretinogram. Then the next one related to our eyes, it is EOG, called as electrooculography. Electrooculography, and the photograph what you see here, these are the type of electrodes connected for the measurement of this electrooculography signal, EOG signal. Okay, now we are going to discuss what exactly is this EOG signal, and what are the types of electrodes, and how many electrodes are required, and what are the locations where these electrodes are located. So that we will discuss. Okay, so EOG is a technique for measuring corneoretinal standing potential. So it is a technique for cardioretinal standing potential that exists between the front and the back of the human eye. Okay, so the potential existing between the front and the back of the eye, that we call as the corneoretinal standing potential, and measurement of this potential, it is EOG, that is electrooculograph, and for this purpose we use 4 to 5 electrodes. Now for amplification purpose, because the signal acquired from these electrodes, it is very small in amplitude, so you will need some amplifiers and filters for processing this signal. So this instrument, which is responsible for measuring EOG, it requires amplifiers, filters along with the electrodes. Now usually a pair of electrodes are placed either above or and below the eye. So one pair of electrodes is placed above the eyes, as you see in this figure, or to the left and right of the eye. So these are the possible locations of these electrodes. Okay. Now in this diagram, you see the actual some typical graph of EOG signal for duration of 2 seconds. So what you see here in this diagram, rolling. Now the first position, this is a position of the eyes looking straight ahead. Second position, rolling eyes upwards, and the third position, rolling eyes downwards. And this is what you see, that type of graph here in this diagram for EOG. Okay, so now the measurement of EOG, it is based on the principle that human eye, it works as a electrical dipole. So it is like an electrical dipole with positive pole at the cornea and negative pole at the back of the eye. So that's why we connect two electrodes on the front and back side of the eyes. Now this difference is due to the large presence of electrically active nerves in the retina compared to the front of the eye. So on the nearby or on this retina, the concentration of nerves, it is much higher as compared to the front part of the eye. Okay, so that's why this type of potential exists. And the magnitude of this corneoretinal potential, it is in the range of 0.5 to 1 millivolt. 0.5 to 1 millivolt. Okay. Now, for the purpose of EOG detection, as we have seen, 4 to 5 electrodes are required. The electrodes are acting as a transducers, which convert some physical quantity into some electrical signal. That means the position or movement of the eye, it is converted into electrical signal. 2 electrodes are placed on the outer side of the eye. Another pair of electrodes is above or below the eye, and one is a reference electrode. So total 5 electrodes we use for the purpose of detecting this EOG, that is electrooculograph. Okay. Now this figure shows the location placement of electrodes. So one electrode placed on the right side and one electrode placed on the left side, on the sides of the both eyes. Now these electrodes, it is this type of positioning of the electrodes, it is going to help for horizontal movement. Then for vertical, sensing the vertical movement of the eyes, we place one electrode at the bottom of the eye and one at the top of the eye. So this is the position of the 2 electrodes for vertical, and the reference electrode, it is kept, reference electrode it is at the center of the eyes. So this is usually the position of or the placement of electrodes. Now related to these positions, horizontal or vertical, okay, and this reference, we get these different types of signals. HEOG signal, so this is related to the horizontal movement, horizontal EOG. So when the eye movement is from center to left, positive voltage spike, center to left, this movement gives us positive voltage spike, and the movement of our eye from center to right, it gives negative voltage spike. Okay, then the vertical placement of the electrodes, it results in VEOG signal. So this is obtained from vertical eye movements, and we get a positive voltage when the movement of the eye is from center to top. We get a positive voltage spike, and center to bottom, it results in negative voltage spike. So that is about this EOG signals. One more signal is there when we are blinking the eyes. When we are blinking the eyes, again 2 types of signals are obtained. One corresponding to voluntary blink signals, and the other one for involuntary blink signals. So these are different types of EOG signals what we get at the output of the electrodes. Okay, so that was about the signals related to our eyes, electroretinography and electrooculograph. Okay, now related to our muscles. Okay, not muscles. For muscles, it is myograph. Okay, this is MEG. It is a magneto-encephalograph. So the first letter, it starts for magneto. The second letter, it is encephalograph. Encephalo means it is related to our brain. So this is actually measurement of the magnetic field produced because of the brain. Okay, you must have heard that our brain produces some very weak magnetic field. Okay, so MEG is based on measuring the magnetic field outside the head using an array of very sensitive magnetic field detectors called as magnetometers. So MEG, it is about measuring the magnetic field produced because of our brain. This magnetic field, it is usually very weak. Okay. Now MEG reflects the current flows generated by neurons within the brain. Now when we are thinking, we are making use of the brain, you know, various last time we have seen the action potential, it is generated, and the action potential, it gets transmitted through the nervous system, and the action potential, it reaches to the brain. Okay, now the nerves in the brain or the cells in the brain, the particular part is excited, and that is how we sense these activities related to the electrical signal. So MEG is actually the current which flows in the brain generated because of the neurons within the brain. Okay, then the temporal frequency, now the typical frequency range for this MEG, it is 1 hertz, that is 1 cycle per second to 100 hertz. 1 hertz to 100 hertz. Okay, then last one, it is MCG, that is magnetocardiography. Magnetocardiography. Now in this case, C stands for cardio. This middle letter C, it stands for cardio. So MCG is the measurement of magnetic fields emitted by the human heart from small currents by electrically active cells of the heart muscle. Okay, now in the next unit we will see how exactly the our heart works, what is the electrical activity going on inside our heart, that we'll see in the unit number 2. Now okay, so whenever there is some electrical activity occurs, some ionic currents are flowing because of the different concentrations. Okay, and you know, as a electronics engineer, whenever there is a current, there is a magnetic field. Wherever there is a current flowing, there is a magnetic field. Okay, so the corresponding magnetic field related to our the currents flowing in our electrically active cells of the heart muscle, these are called as, that measurement of that magnetic field, it is MCG, magnetocardiography. Okay, so this was about different types of electric signals which are generated in our body, and in brief I have discussed. Actually all these topics are very vast, but as our subject is biomedical signal processing, so we should know the basic things about how actually these electrical signals are generated in our body, and what are the locations and what are the principles of measurement of this type of signals. So for that purpose, we are discussing those. Okay, so if anybody has any question up to this part, I will wait for a few minutes. Otherwise, we'll move to the next part of the presentation. Okay.